Hey guys, welcome back. Before we get started, I got a little joke for you. How do you plan a space party? You plan it. Get it? Plan it? Plan it? Plan it? That's funny right there. Hey, today we're going to talk about corresponding angles. They kind of go along with all the angle stuff that you've been learning. Alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, corresponding angles. This is going to be added to the mix. So it's pretty easy. Again, kind of the same stuff. We're just going to be solving for angles. The situation is the same. Two parallel lines, a line running through called a transversal, and then we have this new one, corresponding angles. It turns out with parallel lines, corresponding angles are equal. Here's what a corresponding angle is. Let's say that I take this and I chop it in half right there, and I pick up this bottom piece and I slap it on the top piece. Right, now you can see what's going to happen. This 5 is going to land on top of 1, 6 is going to land on top of 2, 8 lands on top of 4, 7 lands on top of 3. Right, pick it up, plop it down. The angles that land on each other, those are corresponding angles. Right, and it turns out again they are equal. Right, so corresponding angles are equal. So we can just add this to the mix. The tools that we already have to solve for missing angles, right? So we're going to do an example problem here. We'll kind of review a little bit alternate interior, alternate exterior, as well as vertical angles is another one that we use a lot. And now we have this corresponding angles one. So here we go. We're looking at this picture here. I've got a couple of things going on. These are my parallel lines. And then I've actually got two transversals, so we're going to look at them one at a time, right? This is like two problems in one. So here's my first transversal. I'm going to draw along there. Again, and it's cutting through my two parallel lines. And then here's the red guy. I'm going to do him in red. This is the other transversal, and it's cutting through my parallel lines here. So 3 and 4 and this 32, that's all red line stuff. I'm going to do that as a separate problem. And then 1 and 2 and this 115 green stuff here, right? So again, there's a lot of different ways that you could come up with the answers here. But I'm going to try to use this one to show you, and then I'll talk about the other one. So if we look right here, I've got my two parallel lines here. I've got some angles up here. I've got some angles down here. If I were to chop, pick this up and plop it down, notice this 115, it's under the line and on the right. So if I picked that up and plopped it down here, it would match up with the angle that's under the line and on the right. See, 115 would land right on 2. 2 is 115. That's easy. And then we can find 1 really easy because they are vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are equal. Vertical angles are opposite angles when two lines cross, right? So number 1 is also 115, easy cheesy. We have some other things that we could have looked at. Remember from our bag of tricks that we've learned already, this 115 and angle 1, these are what's called alternate interior angles. They are also equal, so we could have gotten that using alternate interior angles, and then of course using vertical angles to get angle 2 as well. So there's lots of different ways, but corresponding angles, remember, chop, pick it up, plop it down, anything that matches up, they're the same. Let's look at the same thing here. If I'm looking at this red line, so I'm totally ignoring this stuff now. I'm going to look at this red line here. I've got my one set of angles up here. I got my other set down here. So if I chopped it, picked it up, plopped it down, maybe we'll see something that matches up. I don't know. If I do that, pick this up, this guy above the red line and on the right. So if I plopped it down above the red line and on the right, it actually turns out this guy right here is 32. That doesn't exactly help me, or it helps me, but it doesn't tell me, I guess, what angle 3 and 4 are. However, we can use a little math to figure that out. So we've got angle 3 here I'm looking for. And this angle is 32, and notice this red line, that's a line, 180 degrees, right? So this angle, angle 3, and this 32, straight line, that has to add up to 180. So what plus 32 adds up to 180. So you got a calculator, You can probably do that in your head, but if you need to, the way you do that on your calculator is you take your 180 degrees and you subtract from that the 32, and then the leftovers would be this angle 3 here. Turns out that is 148. I can easily find angle 4 now, because vertical angles are equal. That one is also 148. So remember, you have all sorts of tools that you can use. Let's just review through them. You have alternate interior angles. That would be like 3 and 6 here, or 4 and 5. Those are equal. We have consecutive interior angles. That's like 3 and 5. Those add up to 180. You have straight line stuff, right? So like 5 and 7, that's a straight line, 180. 6 and 8, straight line, 180. 7 and 8, straight line. So we have all that 180 straight line stuff. We have vertical angles like 7 and 6, or 5 and 8, right? Those are vertical angles, and vertical angles are equal. Now we have our new corresponding angles, chop and plop, and things that match up, they're equal as well. We have alternate exterior angles. Sometimes it seems like we don't use those as much. There's other methods that we can get to, but alternate exterior, remember exterior outside, 1 and 8 would be alternate exterior angles, as well as 7 and 2 alternate exterior angles. So alternate exterior angles are also equal. So we have all sorts of tools that we can use to try to find missing angles, and that's what you're going to be doing today. You've got a worksheet, and you're going to be trying to find all the missing angles. So hopefully this is helpful, and good luck on the assignment.